America, America, America. So, as you know, last week we had the Republican GOP debate. And one of the main things coming out of the debate was a debate over Islam. First sparked by Donald Trump, not correcting a town hall questioner the day after the GOP debate who called Barack Obama a non-American Muslim. And then, as you expected, listen, monkey see, monkey do in the GOP. GOP monkeys see, GOP monkeys do. Ben Carson says a Muslim should not be president. And he unexpectedly shifted the whole conversation of the Republican field, because now every Republican candidate was asked, do you think a Muslim can be president? Now, let's talk about the facts first. Our Constitution, this is the walking hypocrisy, right? A Muslim cannot be president. We can never elect a Muslim. Fascio, what they call it? Radical Islam, Sharia law, rawr. But our Constitution is pretty clear. There are no religious checks to be president of the United States. It's in the Constitution. So for all those people who walk around talking about, we need our Constitution. The Constitution says that Judeo-Christian is not a thing. It's not a thing at all. Actually, our founders, when they wrote the Constitution, they did everything in their power to disconnect it from Judeo-Christianity, because they had the insight, they had the foresight that we would have days like this. Well, now this debate continues, because Carson, who is a Christian retired neurosurgeon, initially said that he wouldn't advocate. Now he's basically changed his tune up a little bit. He's like, well, it's not that I don't think a Muslim be president. I would never vote for a Muslim as president. So in my mind, I'm thinking to myself, when did your religion become a prerequisite for being president? Well, no, that's not true, Richard, because every time in this country we've made religion a prerequisite for somebody being, elected. But okay, so even if that is true, and religion is a prerequisite, have you ever seen any of these presidents truly, quote unquote, follow the religion that they profess to have? I mean, to be honest with you, George Bush, I think he did the opposite of his religious values when he decided to invade Afghanistan and kill innocent people. Thou shalt not murder. Ooh, that was that one. Then you have Richard Nixon, who was a total Christian, but, thou shalt not lie. Bear false witness, better yet. And you had Ronald Reagan. These are people who, they profess to be Christians and they walk around with the cross around their neck, but literally every chance they get, they trample on religious values. I wrote a piece about this a couple weeks ago for Huffington Post where I talked about the same ideal, the walking Southern hypocrisy, right? But it gets crazier to me, because later on he gives an interview to The Hill. This is Ben Carson. He says, the next president should be sworn in on a stack of Bibles, not a Koran. I don't believe Sharia law is consistent with the Constitution of this country. Just because somebody's Muslim does not mean they believe in Sharia law. Just because somebody's Muslim does not mean they're a terrorist. Just because somebody's Muslim does not mean they want the destruction of the United States. This ideal that we have created, better yet, that Republicans and the far right has created, that anything that's Muslim is evil and bad and crazy, is so warped and so ridiculous that it's shocking. Because then they're like, oh, well, Muslims committed 9/11. Okay, that's true, but how about Timothy McVeigh and the Oklahoma City bombing? Right? That wasn't Muslims. Or how about Sandy Hook? Or how about the Aurora, Colorado massacre? Or how about Charleston, West Virginia? Charleston, South Carolina. How about all those instances where white people, Christians, how about Christians blowing up abortion clinics, people professing to be Christians blowing up abortion clinics? Aren't those all the same things? Isn't that terrorism? Isn't that wrong? Why have we assigned terrorism to just one religion? Terrorism is an idea where people use acts of violence to push forward the political agenda. It's not connected squarely to being Islam or believing or praying to Allah. Not even remotely. What we have done in society via media is made that connection. But that connection is a false notion. It's a false equivalence that we need to do everything in our power to work on correcting. We want to stop the radicalization